Breaking news. The biggest study in world history has just proven, get this, masks don't work. They never worked. They will never work to prevent COVID-19. I got a good one for you. The New York Times, not that I love the New York Times, has just published a very lengthy opinion article by Bret Stephens. It's 2 years too late, but it is recognizing the biggest, most rigorous, comprehensive analysis from around the world in history. In history, examining the viability of masks to prevent the transmission of COVID-19. The doctor that put it together is this guy. His name is Dr. Tom Jefferson. He's an Oxford epidemiologist who just published the paper, and here's his conclusion. Masks do not make any difference, full stop. What about N95 masks as opposed to lower quality surgical or cloth masks? Makes no difference. None of it, says Dr. Jefferson. What about the studies that initially persuaded policymakers to impose mask mandates? They were convinced by non-randomized, flawed observational studies. What about the unity of masks in conjunction with other preventative measures such as hand hygiene, physical distancing, or air filtration? According to the study, no evidence that any of these things make any difference. 11 doctors worked on this study, 78 random controlled trials, 611,000 records were examined from around the world. States with no mask mandates were the same as states with mask mandates. With or without didn't make a difference. The bottom line is there was no evidence masks ever worked and will ever work. And all those people that wouldn't let you in a restaurant or a movie theater or a concert or to go to work without a mask were all wrong. And still, the CDC doesn't have a comment, no apology, no oops. Well, it sounded good. Remember we were talking about this like a year ago? Here's my comment. A year ago, Will and I were discussing the fact that cloth masks, if you look at it under a microscope, the fibers are about this far apart on a cloth mask. And a virus is like a pinpoint in the middle of that cloth mask.
It's like taking, it's water hose and spraying it at a, one of those fence that with the links like, they go like that, the fence. And the fence, you take the water hose and a spray to protect you. Just stand on the other side of the fence.
Well, the fact of the matter is there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that said the masks don't work. And I would tell you on the downside, you're breathing your own air. So you're breathing in carbon dioxide that your body has just expelled. You're lowering the oxygen content in your blood, right? Any germs are now inside the mask. So if you're a food server and you're wearing that thing all day long, you're sucking in germs, sucking in lower oxygen, making yourself sick, having a headache because your oxygen content is down.
Now we know what the lack of oxygen to the brain.
Is that what did it to Joe Biden?
The lack of oxygen.
So here's my question for you. Now that we know the truth, you think the White House is going to admit it? Do you think the CDC is going to admit it? National Institute of Health, Centers for Disease Control? Come on.
No, not at all. They'll come back and they'll probably get Jen. Still looking into this because nothing has been actually confirmed. It's just a study off the board. It's just a study. It hadn't been really confirmed. They'll make up some lame excuse. And the reason being, Barry, because they cannot allow people to believe that this is not safe and healthy and will protect us, because when the next one comes, all to comply and don't question it, because I'm telling you, another one's coming.